For 200 years, the Williamsville Watermill has stood the test of time. And if folks like Dave Sherman, Williamsville's local historian, have a say, it will be here for another 200.
It's something you could never replicate, and it's really what started the community that became Williamsville and Amherst. This is why, after the British burned Buffalo in the War of 1812, this is where people came. The Army came here. There were 3,000 soldiers here in the winter of 1813 because there was nowhere else to go.
Built by Jonas Williams, who the town's name was derived, it was a multifunctional building, a mill that served as a way to produce food, clothing, and of course, all powered by running water, which turned this giant turbine around and around day after day. But perhaps the most astonishing fact about this building is not what happened after it was built, but how it was built to begin with.
I'm sure he didn't mean for it to last 200 years. It's so well put together, it's like a fort.
The mill consists of several wood beams that measure around roughly 12 by 14 inches, unheard of today. But perhaps the most spectacular feat of all is how the equipment for the mill itself was actually installed. And in order to see that turbine I mentioned before, well, that's a trip through a trap door. Dave says between this giant turbine and a handful of millstones, some the size of a Volkswagen, it's a mystery how Jonas Williams and his men were able to install and literally move this massive equipment to where it needed to be.
You could recreate something like this at Disney World or the Epcot Center, but it wouldn't be the real deal. And I think people need to see that, again, you could read about this, you can see a documentary, but if you can stand and see how these timbers were cut and notched together to withstand 200 years of Buffalo weather, for one thing, it's amazing.